Welcome to Countdown to Infinity, a Marvel podcast. We watched every single movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Guess what? We're hopping out of that universe, and we might just get through a lot of the non-MCU movies. This week, we're talking Deadpool. My name's Emmanuel.
Hi, I'm Andrew.
Hey, it's John.
And I think in terms of schedule, it's been a really long time since we've talked Marvel movies.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think that skipped a week of release, but...
It's definitely been a year since we recorded the last
it's been a long time. I feel like a month or two, maybe.
Maybe. I've started to lose track in the quarantine of time. Time is relative, and so it passes by slower sometimes, and sometimes it's faster.
Yeah, so for all of the dogs listening, it's been a year already.
Oh, shit.
I found out recently that we've been calculating...
Snoop Dogg?
Yeah, Snoop Dogg.
It's been a year for
Well,
him.
he ages slower than all of us. He looks really good. But I found out recently that the dog years that we've been calculating is wrong. So we think like 1 year is equals 7 human years... Wait, huh? Wait, 1 human year is 7 dog years, but it's actually totally wrong. It's like a weird scale, and I don't know. Like they apparently age really, really quickly early on. That's why your puppy becomes like a dog.
They're like a clone.
They're like a clone. They're like,
Star Wars.
That's sad. And then when they execute Order 66, your dogs are gonna kill you. I don't know.
Yeah, it's true. That'd be scary.
I would be afraid of some dogs. I wouldn't be scared of like chihuahuas and shit.
I don't know. Like, imagine fighting one pit bull or 200 chihuahuas.
Oh my god!
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've
so
seen.
Suddenly you're scared of chihuahuas.
Did you guys ever watch Cats versus Dogs? I think it was. That's what it was called.
Is that
Cats and dogs.
Cats and Dogs. Is that what it is? Cat dog? No.
Cats versus dogs?
Is that Cats versus
Raining cats and dogs.
Dogs? It's raining men.
Cats and dogs civil war.
Oh my god! Yeah, where whoever wins, we both lose. Or wait, whoever wins, we all lose.
That's
Anyways,
Alien versus Predator.
we're talking Deadpool this week. I'm super excited because Deadpool, pretty good movie, I think. Outside of the MCU, and I guess now inside of the MCU, one of the top tier ones. It's really, really good.
What they call
tight.
Oh my god, it's tight. I mean, I think it's definitely at least different than a lot of other.
You really
MCU
liked
movies.
it, didn't you?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I could tell.
I loved it. I was telling John, we're going to talk about the history at some point, but I was telling John, or maybe you, no,
You're like, Deadpool's my favorite superhero.
no,
now.
well, I just feel like we're going to talk about the front. It took
No, you
so
said,
long
like,
for them
what
to be made.
what you were watching now, like you said you were watching it recently, that Sophia was kind of into it
Yeah,
too.
my girlfriend. So I was watching it, and I was like, I have to watch a movie for the podcast. Oh, woe is me, rough. And my dog was like, "Huh, rough?
How do you like it?
Oh no, doggy style." But so I was watching Deadpool, and she was doing some work, and some like real work, not watching movie work. But she stopped what she was doing and started watching it. She was like, I remember this movie as being really fun,
It's
really
because
fun.
it's got Ryan Reynolds in there.
I mean, that doesn't hurt at all.
There's a sex montage.
I love that sex montage
of Ryan Reynolds banging the shit out of
I just think
whatever the fuck
it's
her
also
name
a
is.
really clever way to show the passage of time in a very horny way. But I digress. Yeah, I mean, rewatching it definitely was excited. I guess we'll just already go to first impressions. Fuck. We should do it because our game's going to be pretty long.
Do we have a game?
Yeah, it's going to be a montage.
Of
You ready to get your mashed potatoes?
Of sucking and fucking.
Anyways, my first impression of this movie, I loved it.
The very first time or yesterday?
I think the first time I saw it, I think that's just
it seems like you thought it was better the second time. That's why. So I was
think
like,
I
man,
just
he must
forgot.
have not thought it was that
even
good
though this
the
movie
first
came
time.
out when, like
2016,
2008?
I think, yeah.
4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah, 2016.
Depending on when you're
almost-
listening to this podcast.
10 years ago,
yeah.
20, 50, 100 years ago. And this is in the Library of Congress, is the worst podcast.
Yeah, the Jedi Archives.
In the Jedi Archives. Or if
the-
you're an alien, we shoot this into space and you're pissed.
It's the most mainstream podcast in the
Oh, yeah.
Library of Congress.
Yeah, you're looking for mainstream podcasts on you know, online.
on your favorite zine.
But yeah, so I love this movie. I thought the action was really fun and unique. It's incredibly funny, but it's also really heartfelt when it needs to be, and it feels a lot like maybe what Deadpool, and you can tell me better about how he is in the comic books. It feels more along. It has an identity in the comic books that I think translates pretty well in this movie. And it's also, like, a lot of times movies, and you'll hear this a lot, especially if you're pitching movies, but you'll hear this a lot. People will ask you, why does your movie have to be made, or what makes your movie, or what makes your screenplay a movie and not just a book or something? And you kind of have to describe why it has to be a cinematic experience. And I think this Deadpool movie does it in a really interesting, I think, story structure.
Right.
And I mean, when we're talking about like breaking the fourth wall, or we're talking about these really hyper dramatized moments where they freeze, or
like the romantic comedy elements.
Like those are things that are purely cinematic and really forces you to watch it. No, but it makes the case for itself to be like, hey, this isn't just an adaptation of a comic book movie. This is also like a movie. Like, we're not just trying to get all this, we're not trying to rake in the Marvel bucks. This is actually made for this form of art. But yeah, what were your first impressions for Deadpool? Also, full disclosure, I was on this Zoom thing recently, and Ryan Reynolds and Phoebe Waller-Bridge were on it, and they were talking about breaking the fourth wall because they do that in Fleabag a lot.
Right.
And maybe that's also partially why I like it more now, because I just hear about the story and stuff.
I thought, like, in reading comic books, kind of like, here and there, especially when it came to Marvel growing up, Deadpool is a character that I kind of got introduced a little bit later on. The character, to me, was a very like comedic or almost insane, almost like manic character in the comics.
That's
like
what how do you describe this podcast last week?
Yes, it's true.
Andrew,
Just
did he tell you about that?
Energy.
He was describing the podcast, and he said that we had manic energy.
Yeah. So he says.
You're giving me manic eyes right now.
I don't even know what that means. Let me look it up. Yeah. Jaeger and I'm a manic Jaeger. Oh, that's from the game.
Wait,
Fuck, they have no
Jaeger
idea
manic.
what this is.
You're a manic hunter?
Jaeger manic?
It's terrible.
It sounds like a Jaeger-matic. Like you're too Jaeger.
I was gonna make a joke, but I feel like because of the way people treat like mental illness, I won't make it.
Nice. Very mature decision.
So like when I heard that Deadpool was going to be in movies whenever X-Men Origins Wolverine came out,
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask
I was
Emmanuel.
kind of
You
very
didn't-
excited.
You didn't like the first Deadpool? Nope. Okay.
That hasn't aged well. There you go. If we're trying to find the nicest way to say it. The X-Men Origins Wolverine Deadpool like came and went, and it was not cool. Though there is a scene where Wade Wilson kind of was very Wade Wilson-y.
When he was
where he's-
human.
Yeah, when he's human. and
When
he's played by Ryan
When
Reynolds.
he's not
yeah.
as ugly, yeah.
When he's Wade Wilson.
Yeah, I guess so. And
Before he becomes the Deadpool, yeah.
and then when they they leaked the footage online, the Tim Miller animated footage.
Yeah.
And Tim Miller eventually ended
what
up
got this movie
directing.
made, yeah.
Directed this movie.
I love that, and we'll talk about more of the story of how it got made later.
Yeah, and so whenever it's
Snyder cut.
actually watching it, I thought it was going to be again because after a while too, the character kind of becomes like if you're following him through the Marvel comics, it kind of
He's very one note. Like once you like this movie, that's what he is. And
it's
so
just the thing is like, it's just like it kind of wears itself out after a while in the books. It just in my opinion, like it's after a while, Deadpool is really cool, but like some non
It's a little bit
Deadpool
much for you.
centric. Like I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. Like
It's like
if
this
he's with
podcast too manic.
it's just like if he's on X Force, like
Yeah.
that's a pretty cool balance and stuff. And then every now and then a good Deadpool story, like Deadpool, and when he has a Headpool with him, the zombie.
Headpool?
it's just a decapitated zombie head that has a propeller on the top, and
What the
it flies
fuck?
around because it has a healing factor, and so
Dude,
it stays alive.
I want to ask you guys this:
It's a zombie.
Do comic books have ratings? Because this movie's rated R and all, whatever. But do comic books have ratings? And is this like the adult version of that?
I think they used to have the comic
They have,
code.
they
Yeah,
have a
they
comic
do.
book rating.
What are they?
Like
R
It just
and
has
mature?
like it has like an
teen
age
and mature,
yeah,
and then I'm sure there's like some sort of porno one, which is like an X or some shit. Yeah, Cave Woman and all that.
sex criminals.
Yeah, there are comics that like full on spread, like the variant cover, like we need to have it
Full
in
on spread.
Yeah, no, I'm not even kidding you.
Yeah.
Like you think I'm joking, and that wasn't meant as a joke, but it's like a girl with a full on spread
Yeah.
in the front cover, and so we need to put it in a black.
Oh,
like,
so no one
black
can
ba-
see
yeah,
it just
because
browsing
and then there's
through.
kids going through.
Why don't you send a couple of those over to my
I
house?
could. I could sign you up subscription. Oh, that's a subscriber that only gets Cave Woman.
Oh,
And
yeah, that's me.
That's the way you'd be known as.
waiting by the dumpster for
So watching all
last month's spread.
this. Sorry, that was funny.
Sorry, John, we're being too manic. Andrew, do you know what manic means? It means showing wild, apparently deranged excitement and
Just
energy.
another manic Monday.
John thinks he's doing a podcast with two jokers. I'm just kidding, John. I agree, it's manic.
The other pod he's on are organized.
Yeah.
And mature.
Although I did work hard on this podcast, John. I made this fucking game. It's going to be good. It's going to be fire.
I'm getting some very manic energy from.
I'm not deranged. Come here.
Anyway, speaking of manic deranged energy, yeah, like Ryan Reynolds brought all of that and then some to Deadpool, and it was way better than expected. It was a lot of fun. You hadn't seen anything like that in a long while, especially the breaking of the fourth wall elements at the time. It was really, really cool. You know, it was awesome. And then, you know, they eventually made a second one, which was like, you know, added to the lore of the. I'm not sure if that movie kind of was as strong as the first one now in retrospect, even though I did kind of enjoy it more at the time. But yeah, that first Deadpool was awesome. I remember seeing it like at least twice in theaters when it came out that spring.
I was very annoyed with Deadpool by the time this movie came out.
The character of Deadpool.
Right, yeah, exactly. I think he's one of the most... another thing this podcast is, other than Manic, is very mainstream.
Some would say that, yeah.
And so, it's I think he's one of the most mainstream heroes, and it's one of those things that people use as their gateway into... real comics?
Who's up there? Like
real comics?
I think I see a lot of Punisher stuff on cars. I see a lot of Deadpool merch.
Yeah.
Deadpool on keychains.
Deadpool in general. Everyone thinks he's very
Joker is up there too.
Yeah, Joker for sure. Batman is one of the more mainstream ones too, for sure. Batman is probably like Batman, Harley Quinn, and Joker are probably the most mainstream DC heroes for sure.
And Deadpool for Marvel. Deadpool
coming. John's coming over there in the corner.
Well, before MCU was Deadpool as popular? Because I feel like he was, right? Because even before this movie came out and before we knew, like, we have the Ryan Reynolds Deadpool. I saw it. People were fucking cosplaying that all day.
He's a fairly new character, introduced in New Mutants '98, created by Rob Liefeld.
Who's in this thing, right? Or
he's mentioned as a cameo.
Yeah.
In the opening credits, I think the coffee cup says Rob L.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
Liefeld.
I met him, I think, twice, 3 times. He's a pretty chill guy, I guess.
Yeah.
Pretty as chill as he can be. He's a little bit
super involved in this kind of stuff.
He's very eccentric on Twitter, and he's very he voices his opinion. He has no problem voicing his opinion.
Wow.
But
wow.
Yeah, it was he was a ripoff of Deathstroke.
Oh.
And so, like, he wasn't as
Not a good sign for the pod.
Well, he wasn't as as you know him now with breaking the fourth wall, and that's his big thing, is breaking the fourth wall.
He does that in comic
That's
books.
his main power. Yeah, in comic books, he gets to the point where he's like, hey, I'm gonna go to Marvel and kill everybody who wrote this book.
Wow.
And so he goes to the thing and he kills everybody who writes the book, and you're like, this is funny. And then they release a sequel to that, and you're like, what? Didn't he kill everybody who wrote this book?
Yeah.
But yeah. And so again, he's got a very particular shtick that attracts a lot of, again, people use him as a gateway drug into a deeper rabbit hole of comic books and stuff like that. And so I was very annoyed by him. I know there had been, it was kind of like the Snyder Cut a little bit, where they tried to get this Deadpool remade, and they're like, we don't want a sequel to that Wolverine Oranges, because remember, there's an after credit scene where he's alive.
Yeah.
And so people are like, oh shit, like they're
Here
going to make
it
a
comes,
sequel, like that's going to be the Deadpool thing.
Yeah.
He's going to look like this, and it's going to be the worst and stuff like that.
But it could have been, like, remember what I told you when we were watching it, that, like, apparently the official story is that after Days of Future Past,
yeah, it reset the timeline, and so
reset,
Deadpool was able to be in this other thing, and so
I
he
see what
wasn't in
you're
the OG timeline, but now he is. Well, he was in the OG timeline, just not the way you remembered him.
And in the sequel, there's some weird stuff that happens there.
Yeah,
as
for
well.
sure.
But,
With time travel and stuff like that.
We may talk about the second one, but I get what you're saying, and I feel like the interesting thing about we're not going to talk about Snyder Cut, but the interesting thing about this is it kind of was a weird. We're going to talk about every day until the Snyder Cut comes out.
Countdown
it's not even
to cut.
There is no Snyder Cut. Okay, there's a Snyder redo with $20 million.
It never existed.
I know, but oh god, but that was a really interesting part of this story. Is constantly for like a decade, Ryan Reynolds was on board very early on, and the screenwriters were on board early on. They were I think they rewrote the script every year of development.
And it sucked because he had just gone through the Green Lantern debacle, and so now he bumped into another character that's just like. Shit.
And every time it got far, and that's why I feel like it's only similar to Snyder Cut in terms of the fan swell, but there was a lot of hard work, behind the scenes, I think, to get it made, because at a certain point it got really close, and then Avengers did really well, and because that wasn't rated R, they were like, well, no, rated R, we can't do rated R. Avengers, let's do a team 'em up movie with other things. So the fact that it kept getting retooled and redone and remastered, and I mean, the screenwriters talk about watching Ferris Bueller and taking all of the cinematic elements of movies that break the fourth wall, but are also just funny, and trying to apply that onto their movie.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is a it's a good thing that it got made.
It's like what the Snyder Cut is hopefully gonna be.
Yeah.
Like hopefully it's 5 times better than Justice League or whatever. But I doubt it. But
this was this is a rated R Marvel
and
movie.
I think that's what I respected about it the most was of how much bank it was able to make. As being, because I know everyone talks about Birds of Prey and they're like, it didn't make money because it was rated R. I was like, well, that's bullshit, because Deadpool made a fuck ton of money.
And even during the filming, Deadpool, they were making it, they were doing it their own way, and they made so many concessions. The studio was like, this is too violent. We're cutting $8 million from your budget because we know you're not going to make that money back.
Yeah.
Along the entire way, people just kept saying, no, this is going to bomb. No, it's not. It's going to bomb.
Yeah. I think Birds of Prey failed because of Suicide Squad, but Deadpool, again, it didn't surprise me that it banked, because it's one of those movies that I think people would take their kids to go see, and it's one of those things where you're like, oh man,
it's totally true.
People don't care about that anymore.
And especially no offense, but especially the type of crowd that the Deadpool character attracts.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Again, very mainstream and very
the podcast.
Yeah.
Very
manic.
It's manic. It's mainstream. It's the perfect thing for our pod.
But ultimately, I ended up. I was very entertained. I was more entertained than I thought I was going to be, because again, I went in hating the character of Deadpool, despising the character of Deadpool. Yeah. And I went out being like, hey, I love Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. There's so many elements of this that are just so unique and comedic, especially for the time. We're just talking about 4 years ago, but after Deadpool came out, everyone wanted to fucking copy Deadpool. Yeah, we saw rewrites for Zombieland 2, rewrites for Sonic, rewrites for all these movies.
You even have a little bit of Birds of Prey-esque type of,
It was just, it was so surprising that the rated R movie made this much money. Or rated R comedy made this much money that everyone just wanted to do it. And I feel like that's what makes Deadpool special, is they were the first. And Deadpool 2 comes out later on, but they basically set that bar. But it's because of all of the rewriting that has to happen.
Right.
Ryan Reynolds knowing this is the part about it being cinematic, knowing that he was under a mask, so knowing in his head I can ADR different lines, and we can just see what fucking works.
And it's the Mandalorian thing where you're like, it's not Pedro Pascal underneath that thing. It's someone else that's in better shape probably than Ryan Reynolds or whatever, and doing the stunts and then just ADRs.
Let's talk about some of the things that you guys really liked about the movie. There's obviously the action stuff.
For sure. The sex montage
I love. What a smart way to show the passage of time while still being funny and
horny.
One of the rare occasions where you don't completely hate TJ Miller.
You got some really cool Neil Sedaka music during that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Calendar Girl playing. That's pretty cool.
I loved, I know she's a character in the comic book. The blind lady. Oh yeah. She was all of that was funny.
Blind Owl.
All of those moments
Big
I
Owl.
thought were so funny.
Big Owl. It's Owl something.
Big Owl. It's
super.
Owl. It's just Owl.
Yeah, I know.
I bet we're gonna say irreverent
Blind
a lot.
Owl.
But
I said Blind Owl, John, and you made fun of me.
Man, the things that they come up for her, she misses. She puts a pill bottle and misses the table completely. She says,
putting together.
He says I left you some whatever next to the cure for blindness.
Oh yeah,
oh my god,
100 tons of kilo.
Cocaine, and she loves. And I thought those those are so funny.
She's building an IKEA furniture. It's like tough when you can see.
Yeah, and she of course it breaks and all that stuff, and the masturbating, the comedy in it. is honestly right up my alley. Like it's stuff that
It's so manic. It's so mainstream.
it's so manic.
It's the two M's.
It's actually not mainstream, I don't think. But yeah, I think what's good is it happens in earnest, and it's part of the movie, and so it doesn't feel like it's just super random, and they're being like mean about it in a weird way. Like it's very much part of it being meta. Them talking about other movies, even about Marvel stuff.
Them talking about not having the budget to show another X-Men.
Yeah. It's like it's really fun. Yeah, that's good. And it's in the action too. Like I know we started talking about action stuff, but it's in the action as well. The action sequences where he's making jokes and counting down bullets and leaving all his guns in the back of the taxi cab.
Tim Miller's just good. I think good at action for sure. I mean, because there were so many sequences where I'm like, damn, this is the Terminator fighting the Rev 9 or whatever, and you're like, shit, this is fucking awesome.
And it's funny that when they know they have to lean into the superhero tropes, like the giant, like CGI stuff,
or an origin story,
like, but they tell you, like, I know what's happening.
Yeah, it's done so in a tongue in cheek though, but like it does kind of like have an anchor in like emotional like sadness.
Oh God,
yeah. Like the whole, you do kind of get like hints of like what Wade Wilson the character really is, as opposed to like the caricature that he ends up becoming for most of the movie.
Especially in the second one too, when he loses. Like it's you brought up a good point. It's a rom-com. Really,
right? Yeah,
and it just happens to have a lot of action sequences and things.
Superhero lore because it's a part of like.
Yeah,
I mean, in literal sense, it's a part of the X-Men movie because you see like characters like Colossus and Negasonic.
I can't think of another really good superhero movie that is a rom-com fully.
I think Ant-Man
and the Wasp.
Oh, yeah,
tries
that's really
to do
Thor: The Dark World. Hilarious.
Thor: Love and Thunder might.
That would be a good one. Ragnarok in a weird way, right?
Actually, Ant-Man and the Wasp does it kind of a little bit of a rom-com stuff.
Yeah, that's a good one. Thanks, guys. Fucking shutting my ass down. So fucking manic. Kidding. Go down the list of the cast.
Oh yeah.
Ryan Reynolds
as Wade
Deadpool.
Wilson as Deadpool.
DP.
Sorry, that was my phone trying to unlock with my touchpad.
We had this conversation during Wolverine and being like, wow, Hugh Jackman, perfect Wolverine. Do you have the same feeling with Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool? Speaking of Wolverine, he's in this movie a lot. Hugh Jackman is direct references. But do you think that Ryan Reynolds was like the guy on and off the court, in front of and behind the camera to be the Deadpool?
I think he brings a crazy energy to Deadpool, like a little
You were
bit.
You were about to say manic.
I was gonna say a mainstream actually energy to Deadpool, because the Deadpool that I would like kind of like, or in my head, before I saw like Reynolds as him in X-Men Origins. Deadpool was kind of like a Two-Face character, like Two-Face isn't like the Batman character where you kind of will crack a joke, but then like kind of go into a deep voice and say something really like kind of
fucked
weird
up.
And not fucked up, but like very threatening, I guess, in a way. And so Ryan Reynolds kind of brought a very original and manic flair to it.
Well, that's what because I mean,
he brries a lot of his own personality to it.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was.
It's awesome. Like I think it fits.
Ryan Reynolds is in a lot of comedy movies, and he's a funny guy and a really fun guy.
Really
so
quick on the tongue.
I think I think he definitely fits, but I don't think it would be as difficult to replace him as people would think.
I don't know about that,
because there are certain roles where you're like, no, like Wolverine, where you're like, no one wants to do it because they're so intimidated. But I think Ryan Reynolds does fit the mold.
Yeah.
I think there are other people that fit the mold as well.
And there's something about the character that he latched onto, because for all these years and years of development, he was always attached to be the producer, and he helps write a lot of this stuff too. So it's definitely like the idea of someone really enjoying the character in the comic books, and I don't know, like
then
you have the leverage because you're a big time actor to.
Yeah, I think he made it his own, and I kind of a little bit prefer the Ryan Reynolds Deadpool to other Deadpools, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
he kind of like made it a little bit better and more accessible.
Yeah,
not so much in an annoying way, at least not like
purely annoying.
Yeah, because like the character can be that in the comics.
Yeah,
no offense to the people who like him, but like it is kind of sometimes it is a little bit much.
It's a bit much.
Anyone playing like Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or something, just hearing the dialogue.
He comes out even in and Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 also.
It's actually a
It's
little
the
bit comedic, like in a comedic.
I can't
way,
wait.
like
After the game, we'll talk about him fitting into the MCU, and I don't know.
So the next
read
one,
the rest of the.
You have Marina Baccarin as Vanessa.
She's a character from the comic books too, right?
She
I'm
is.
surprised she didn't leave her spouse for Ryan Reynolds.
There is a
He's a fucking snack.
Vanessa in the comics is also known as Copycat, but she is not a mutant in this movie. But
Yeah.
there is like
She has this interesting streak in her hair. Is that from the comic books
yeah,
too?
I think that's a reference to the character.
Cool.
In that sex montage, she does a lot of copycat.
Marina Baccarin is a very prolific actress. You
Yeah.
would know her from Firefly and Gotham and V, that miniseries V.
For Vendetta. No, I'm just kidding.
She's actually really great in this role. She actually anchors. She's probably like the heart of the movie when it comes to Wilson's motivations and why he does what he does in the movie.
She's funny too. Like she
is really funny.
Yeah.
She matches them energy wise on jokes, and like they have a great chemistry, which is kind of
Like,
awesome because you don't really see Miranda Baccarin in a lot of like lead movie roles. Which is a shame because she's awesome.
That really sells, I think, the humanity of Deadpool, the chemistry that they have, and just the I mean, we talked about the sex montage, but there's also like a much broader montage of their relationship that is really sweet.
Within it. Yeah, exactly.
And,
like,
and
it
like,
shows,
yeah, wonderful. And that is hard to that's hard to replicate because we've seen other movies on this podcast where the chemistry we're like, what
You're talking
what
about
is happening?
You're talking about Sweet. Like she's a hooker.
I know.
No, but I'm
Oh.
saying like the first time he meets her, they're
Yeah.
like, "Hey, 45 minutes of whatever you want," and then
yeah.
it's skee ball, and you're like, "There you go. That's what
it.
that sets up the whole
well,
relationship."
even like the way like
They make up that game where they lie about how hard their lives are. Like it's
that montage is pretty great. I mean, it's just because it's because
Which
of
one?
the fact that
You
like
fucking pervert.
the actual montage.
Oh, no.
it's funny.
It's because
It's
it
very
does show
manic.
like again,
Yeah.
you're right. It does show like the progression of their
Yeah.
relationship over like the course of like
they
a
fuck
year,
on
basically.
mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
It's International
It's-
Women's
Yeah,
Day.
it's
gets
meant to.
ticked.
Yeah, well, it's meant to be like comedic and show like showing
Yeah.
this thing, and but
Very
you know,
open-minded.
That there's a moment in it where it's such a funny movie, but then it suddenly stops when he finds out he has
He has
cancer.
cancer, yeah.
And he's just he talks about remembering everything in her face, and you're just like, whoa, like
Well, and-
it's the idea of a honeymoon ending and the stillness.
TBH, if he had not met her, I'm sure he would have just been okay with dying of cancer.
Yeah, no reason to fight.
But
Yeah, exactly,
now he
yeah.
met her, and he's like, "I need to stay here.
Gotta be
I need to
Deadpool.
hold on." Yeah.
All right.
And it makes the sequel a little more tragic. Really.
So you have Ed Skrein as Francis Freeman, aka Ajax.
I think that's a pretty good. It's such an interesting.
Valar Morghulis.
Oh
He
yeah.
is Dario Naharis in some of the early
You
seasons
didn't say it
of
back.
I like it. I don't
Valor
know.
de Holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I also a thread that I don't think gets wrapped up in Game of Thrones, is it? Whatever.
That is
This
not
is not
for this
that podcast.
podcast.
Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's
You canceled that podcast.
it's an interesting sorry. Internet. It's an interesting thing to have a villain who doesn't feel anything because you would tend to think like, oh, this is going to be a really weird, boring villain. Does that make sense?
Right,
But
yeah.
it works out pretty well in this movie.
Yeah, it's
because
great,
it's a good foil for Deadpool who feels everything but can just regenerate.
Well, it's kind of like two alpha characters because like Deadpool has like this very like wisecracking
Alpha male character.
Well, it's just
Yeah,
like
well,
Deadpool like
it-
thinks himself the boss of
Yeah.
like everything that he does, and
Ajax does match him in that sense because he's always throwing out like jokes himself. Where
Yeah.
he's like, "Damn," like except he's uglier.
Yeah.
Or he's throwing out like, "Hey,"
I love every
like he's egging
reference.
him on. He's like, "Hey, make a joke." You know?
every reference to Deadpool's like face is like funny, like because
It
it's just
is.
like he's just
and you
ugly.
know they have a bunch of those in the bank that they can just freaking go at.
Some of
Yeah.
it's like he just keeps coming back like a cockroach, and then like it cuts away. He's like only uglier. Just like that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
But Ed Skrein, yeah, he apparently got inspiration off of Roy Batty from Blade Runner, and or played by Rutger Hauer.
Like tears.
But like
In the
Ajax,
rain.
the character, is an awesome character, awesome villain for Deadpool in this movie, especially
know
because
he
he's
was
cocky,
strong.
cocky right there
Yeah.
up to the very end.
I really liked he's almost the polar opposite of Deadpool in a weird way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you have T.J. Miller as Weasel.
Well, so let's next one.
Fresh off of
Are we-
Silicon
is he
Valley.
sorry, I don't know if this is he canceled or
He's
what?
kind of
He is
canceled.
kind of canceled, right?
Definitely
Okay.
kind of.
I don't know.
It's like Kevin
Is he?
Spacey canceled, where like he wasn't canceled
Well,
because he
no,
was
Kevin
acquitted,
Spacey
but,
is-
Kevin's
but he's canceled.
Kevin Spacey's
Kevin
canceled.
Spacey
But that's
is
what I'm saying.
canceled.
Yeah.
He's
He's like
O.J.
Aziz
Simpson might have been
Ansari
canceled.
canceled. He was on Parks and Rec.
Yeah,
reunion.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. He's like quiet canceled. Like he doesn't do stuff, but
Yeah.
he was on the Parks and Rec.
Yeah, and they fired him. You're right. TJ Miller, they fired
Everyone's
from Silicon
kind
Valley.
of
Okay.
canceled.
All right.
these
Well, then you know
people.
what? We'll leave it just like that. Gray area.
He actually
he's
is
funny.
really, he's really funny. I'm a fan of TJ Miller's role in
Wow.
Silicon Valley.
John is a TJ Miller fan.
fucking hell.
Defender.
Why did y'all have to like focus on this? I was just trying to praise the people of the flick.
Didn't you recently also watch the works of Woody Allen?
Oh my god. Anyway, Gina Carano
I'm not even lying.
is Angel Dust. Gina Carano, who we just saw in The Mandalorian. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Cara Dune.
Very good.
Cara Dune.
Yeah,
One
she-
of her first forays into film, if I'm not mistaken, right? Because now she's Cara Dune, so she's like,
Oh yeah,
she's
yes,
in.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
like actually, yes, because like she also was in Steven Soderbergh's movie Haywire. She plays Angel Dust, which is a mutant,
Strong.
who is kind of
Takes
like
down
Ajax,
fucking Colossus.
yeah, right hand. And
She doesn't even have to get naked in this movie. They cover the boob.
Oh, I see.
was like,
Yeah,
damn,
yeah.
she did it.
That was a funny moment.
Like
I love
she,
it.
well, I think she's so big right now that
I think
she will
meant
never
this on
have
this
to.
podcast.
She'll
'cause I
never
was
have
like,
to do it now.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I don't
Well,
know
it's
where
just
this
like
is
Amelia
going.
Clark.
Mandalorian season 2, baby.
And like Amelia, well, yeah, no way.
Maybe. Oh,
Nope. Fuck. Yeah. Amelia Clark in the first season, no one knew until nudity. But then
Yeah.
after she became big,
she
no
wrote that
nudity.
shit in. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They're like,
get
no
a
way.
body double.
Yeah.
I
Margot Robbie, Wolf of Wall Street.
yeah.
And then never fucking again.
It's in your contract
No
after
way.
that. I will say about her like the meta part of this where they are like, should I hit you? Should I not?
Oh yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, played for laughs. I like
It
it.
was good.
Brianna Hildebrand plays Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Really funny.
Member of the New Mutants.
Yeah, she's good.
I liked her.
She's the only
the
one
team.
that's in X-Men like garb.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fun
I'm-
fact:
I'm sure
there was
Colossus is also good.
she was they basically Tim Miller and Kevin Feige had to have a conversation
trade for Eagle
trade-
the Living Planet.
Yeah, Eagle the Living
Wow.
Planet. Yeah.
Eagle the Living Planet is a Fantastic Four villain,
Yeah. So
and
they
so they needed to.
Starlo, yeah.
and
That's
so-
cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
So yeah, they
And
traded.
now, no more trading needed. Feige has all the cards.
Yeah, I guess Morbius, show us where you stand.
That's what's fun about this movie and all the development stuff is like all this weird. You don't have the rights for that one person. You can't show the rest of them. Like it's funny. And then the weird thing is when it becomes successful, they don't care. That's why in the second one there's literally all of the Justice League. What all of the X-Men are in it in a cameo because it was successful. So they're like, oh fuck it,
Right,
put them
yeah.
in there. And here they're spending all this time like trading and dealing and. Yeah, it's successful. You can do whatever you want. All right, here's what we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back and talk about more Deadpool.
DP.
We should break the fourth wall on the podcast.
We are
We always do, I guess. huh?
technically talking to the person
We're talking
Sure.
at
who's
them.
listening.
Hey, podcast, am I right?
Right. Exactly.
Is that what we? Is that
What's
how you
in
phrase-
your ear right now, man?
Ah, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
Send
What's
us a picture of the headphones that you use. I was kidding.
Also, send us a picture. Who we asked to send a picture?
Oh.
Lance Armstrong.
Oh yeah.
That's the one. Yeah, we need that. Was that for this pod?
I mean, don't, like if you know where he lives, don't go take a picture of him. We need Lance Armstrong himself.
Consent. We need consent.
Exactly. He needs to send the photo on his own free will to us.
Yes. And we promise not to distribute for our eyes only.
What?
Although,
Bear traps and hand grenades. Pull the pistol like a maniac right in your face. Popping off caps, leave a trail of guts.
welcome back. We are going to play a fun trivia game.
Fun for you.
It's fun for everyone. The listener, you two, me, non-listeners are having fun
You two.
probably too.
Why did you say that?
It's fun for you too. The band you too.
Oh, you
Mono,
two.
you're having fun.
you
Yeah, I
said
thought you said
YouTube.
YouTube. Yeah, also.
Fun for you too.
Like
What's
you're being
going on for
recorded
that?
without your consent.
You know, this is super meta. This is Deadpool-like. We had an episode of Countdown to Infinity get flagged online
For
for the Fantastic Four one because we were by Universal. They put a whatever like because we used some music from it or
we were
whatever.
flagged by
We were
Universal.
flagged by Universal.
Fuck yeah.
And then guess what they did last week? They fucking dropped it. That means they listened to it, reviewed it, and said, all right, cool.
Not worth it.
No harm, no foul. You're like, oh.
To be honest, the podcast is better than the movie.
Whoa.
Ooh, let's say Fantastic Four a ton of times. and Fox.
I know. So now I'm playing
Fantastic
it.
Four Fox,
I'm going to play the
Fantastic Four
music
Fox.
all the time now.
Yeah.
You know what? That means Disney's the one that dropped it, huh?
Probably.
Wait, no, it was Universal. So what
yeah.
Universal movie?
It was probably a
Oh,
song.
let's do the Invisible Man.
I don't know because Fantastic Four is not Universal, right?
No.
Is there a Universal Marvel movie?
The Hulk.
That's probably it then.
Well,
you got it.
We haven't done a Hulk episode. Though.
This is why I win
We have
those
done
trivia
Hulk.
games.
No, we haven't.
On
We
the
haven't
Patreon.
done Ang Lee's Hulk.
Oh. Well, then I don't know.
We should do Ang Lee's
Incredible Hulk.
Fuck, that's the next one.
Maybe. Just kidding. Okay, cool. All right, so we're playing a game. We're talking about Deadpool. This game is called the Deadpool Trivia Game.
Oh wow,
Are you
that's
guys
super
excited?
original.
Deadpool Trivia Game. Fuck you.
What?
God, you're so manic.
You built it up as like it was gonna have some dope ass title.
Yeah, it's the Deadpool Trivia Game. This game was
Get ready to dip
designed
them toes
to test your knowledge
to that pool.
on the iconic California jam band of the 60s and 70s, Grateful Dead, and the billiards game of pool.
See, you said this was gonna be fun,
What
and the
the
more
fuck?
you.
How exciting. Deadpool.
That's
Grateful
so
Dead.
That's awesome that you just found out that me and Drew aren't Grateful Dead fans. Just
Yeah,
from
I know
our-
that's awesome that
from
we're
our
not gonna know the
reaction.
answers to any of these fucking questions.
Here's what I'll say. I listened to a lot of Grateful Dead today. I did this trivia game, and I made them as easy as possible.
I'm sure someone listening is jumping up and down because
What does
they
that
love
mean,
the Grateful
you listen
Dead.
to a lot
Do you
of
think we
Grateful
have
Dead?
70-years-olds listening to our podcast?
Whoa!
Do you not
I
know
like
what the
Dion.
Gra-
I like Dion and the Belmonts, and I'm not 2,000 years
Well,
old.
here's the thing with the Grateful Dead, and well, it's part of the trivia game too. They were a really eclectic live band because they're a riff band. They just fucking
Would you say they
they're a
were
jam band?
manic?
No, they were the opposite of manic. They
Oh
were
shit!
I don't know,
Unmanic?
Yeah, unmanic.
Not manic. That's
But
what you meant.
they basically they recorded music, but most of the time they were known just because they played live songs and someone will do like a 45-minute guitar solo.
Yeah.
So sometimes it didn't translate, and you'll find that out in the trivia game.
Oh shit!
Guy, I know I'm a Grateful Deader now. I was always scared as a kid of the Grateful Dead because I thought it was like a screamo hardcore rock band. It's not. It's a folk music band.
Oh, you're gonna listen to
Isn't
it
that
and you're
crazy?
gonna die gratefully.
They're the ones that people make fun of. Songs about like wizards and like
Oh shit!
Of the 60s.
Do people make fun? Are you making fun of the Grateful
No,
Dead?
I literally listened to like hours worth of this
Do
today.
you like
Shut the
Are you a
hell
big
up.
Grateful Dead fan?
Now? No. Oh shit.
Oh man!
So you will get the choice. We have 12 questions. So
my
remember,
God, John, 12 questions.
we're going to start with Andrew. You'll have the choice of answering a question.
Why do you have to start with me?
All right, we'll start with John.
All right, cool.
It's even, so there's the same amount for both of you. You're going to have to choose to answer a question about Grateful Dead or the game of pool.
Oh fuck yeah!
All right,
Oh no!
So I will choose the game of pool.
Ooh, okay, John, here's your question.
Hey, you're gonna run out of games of pool questions.
Oh, for sure. When Mary, Queen of Scots, was killed in 1586, the cloth from her pool table was used to cover this.
Her face.
Oh, can I answer and get the point?
Yes.
Her casket.
No. John, you got it closest. Her dead body.
Oh shit!
Isn't that fucked up?
That is a little.
Not really.
If you know about it, there was a revolt and everything. It was about marriage, too.
I would prefer her to be covered when she was dead than not covered.
Sure.
And so I don't know why that's weird.
Did they not have blankets? Why did they have
They
to
got
use...
it from her pool table.
They took the thing from-
recycling. That's the most. That's the coolest way of recycling I've ever heard in my life.
Oh my
I
God.
wish we recycled like that today.
using things to cover dead bodies?
I meant to the extent. I'm not saying that
Oh.
specific.
no more digging of holes.
Like
just-
instead of throwing your table, like I'm gonna fucking make toothpicks out of this wooden table
Hey,
or
that's
some
good.
shit. You know?
Like punch it every day if you need a toothpick and use it to...
No, I don't know about that.
All right, Andrew, your turn. Well, so there is a chance to steal.
Okay, yeah, I got it wrong. Yeah, I heard.
Would you like a Grateful Dead question or a pool question?
I will take a pool question.
Cool. In the movie The Color of Money from 1986, this actor performed most of the trick shots himself. It's a movie about pool. There's actually a really big clue in here. I'll read it again, and I will emphasize the clue. In the movie Color... Oh, sorry. All right. I got to remember what to emphasize. Here we go. Diving back in.
Damn, that emphasis
In the
really threw you
movie
off.
The Color of Money from 1986, this actor performed most of the trick shots himself.
What?
When I tell you the answer, you'll know why I emphasized.
Yeah, I guess.
Anyone from the 80s or 90s, guess.
Fuck.
Think of the biggest star of the time, and you'll probably be close.
I don't know.
Just guess.
I can't.
All right, John, you have the chance to steal.
What?
In the movie The Color of Money from 1986, this actor performed most of the trick shots himself.
God damn! I
Actors
feel
from
like
the
we
80s and
just
90s.
literally talked about this though too. I don't know, like fucking
Harrison Ford.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Big actor.
Big actor.
Big actor.
Is that like John Candy?
Tom Hanks.
close? It was Tom Cruise.
Oh,
That's why I emphasized
see.
performed
Yeah,
most of the
man, I've
trick
never
shots.
seen The
that
Color
was
of
done.
Money. That's why.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
also a
me
movie
neither.
called The Hustler that's really good about pool. I also really dove in deep for pool. So.
You're like, also, I'm really good at pocket pool.
ugh. Hey, you know who couldn't do that?
Lance Armstrong.
Lance Armstrong.
Because he's only got the cue ball
I guess
and
you
the
could.
stick.
I guess you could jiggle a cue ball and stick. That's weird. Guys, the loser has something to do.
Why do you do this to
John,
us?
John, do you want a question about the Grateful Dead or pool?
Let's go Grateful Dead, I guess.
Oh my god.
The first fuck,
Can we only do 6 questions?
they performed. Oh wait, the Grateful Dead performed their first show at a Palo Alto Pizza Parlor on this important Mexican holiday.
Oh fuck.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yes,
This is the worst. Why do you give him the easy questions? Are you building me up to lose because I win the movie at trivia on
You're
the
the
Patreon?
one who's too scared to do Grateful Dead questions, and those I think are easier.
There's like we're gonna get like angry Grateful
Hey,
Dead fans
you know what's
just
awesome?
hating on this podcast.
What's awesome is that I'm gonna pick a Grateful Dead question in this next one, and it's gonna be super tough.
Guys, I tried to make these as easy as possible. Andrew, what do you want? A Grateful Dead or a pool question?
Let's go for a pool question.
All right, pussy. All right, here we go. Pool balls used to. Oh wait. Okay.
Is that the
Pool
answer?
No, pool balls or billiard balls used to
Say
be
balls again.
Balls used to be made out of this material, now considered to be an illegal material. Fuck, I said material twice in the question.
Ivory.
Yes. Wow.
Whoa.
I don't know what they're made of now, but isn't that fucked up?
Hey,
is
wasn't that
pretty
crazy that
fucked
you were
up.
trying to trip me up and I still got
wasn't.
it right?
Guys, I tried to make all these
Let's
questions
see how
as easy as possible.
Let's see how easy John's question is.
All right, so I'll take
John,
a
would you have been
Grateful
able to
Dead
guess
You'll take
Ivory?
a Grateful Dead?
question. Yeah.
All right.
Would you have guessed Ivory?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, you lie.
Teeth.
I was gonna say bone. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Grateful Dead question. Apart from a lifetime achievement nod, how many Grammys did the band win?
Oh, sweet.
17.
You have a chance to steal.
3.
I'm not going to give it to anyone because the answer is 0. Oh. They never won a Grammy. Shame. But they did
shame,
get that
shame.
lifetime, but apparently that doesn't count. You know, on
not at
Wikipedia,
all.
if you win a lifetime Academy, they don't count it either. They're like,
On Wikipedia?
yeah, because it's Governor's Award.
Well, Wikipedia has to, like, you can go in there and make it count.
Okay, someone got to go in there and make these things count for people.
Help out your local Grateful Dead.
Andrew, it's your turn. Do you want a Grateful
Pool.
Dead? Okay, cool. In what
Hey, you
country?
remember pool?
Huh?
You said cool pool.
Cool pool. Okay, cool. In what country is pool rumored to have started? In what country?
North America.
Switzerland.
No, you both got it wrong. It was in France by King Louis XI. So, kids are dumb as shit.
Fucking France. Yeah, you're right.
John, do you want Grateful Dead or do you want pool?
Pool.
All right. Wow. Okay, cool. During the 1860s, billiard tournaments often got more news coverage than this major world event.
Are you fucking kidding me?
The Olympics.
No. Andrew?
This major world event?
Uh-huh.
What year was it?
1860s.
Oh shit.
The Olympics.
Is that why you laughed at John?
No, because the Olympics have been around forever, like literally
Oh, yeah.
since, Greece and stuff.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering. Is that why you laughed at John's answer?
No, but if you think about the 1860s, there's only one really big thing that at least happened.
That's not a world event, though.
It's a pretty big event for the world. Andrew?
Oh, fuck.
The 1860s. Come on. It's pretty much out
No,
there.
I
Like,
don't. No, I don't know.
I didn't think the answer was that obvious, but, like, it is, apparently.
Do you give up?
Yes.
John?
No, we both got it wrong.
Civil War?
I'm not giving it to him, but yeah, it's a Civil War.
That makes no
Oh,
sense.
oh.
It's like, isn't it just here? Is
What was
that
the
like a
question again?
global event?
The Civil War ended up hurting the entire
The
world.
Civil World War.
Well, the Civil War in America, like all kinds of allegiances were crazy. But isn't it that insane that war was so long that people were covering like pool tournaments on the front page of some newspapers?
That's
Kinda
okay.
fucked up,
That's
right?
actually insane. Actually.
To be honest, I forgot what the question was.
Might be angering.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Grateful Dead or pool?
Grateful Dead.
It's your turn.
Yes.
Is it his turn?
it is.
Okay.
his turn, yeah.
Grateful Dead. All right, here we go. Although becoming a successful live act, only one song ever breached the top 40 of the Billboard charts.
I'm going to do research
Finish
on
the
this
title
right now.
of the song. No, don't, or else you can't steal the point, John.
I'm not planning on stealing the point.
Finish the title of this song, the only song to ever chart. A touch of blank. A touch of
Juice.
blank. A touch of juice. That is John's guess. Go ahead and look it up because you're wrong.
Because you're wrong.
Do you want a clue? I'll give you a clue. A
Sure.
touch of. It's a color. It's a color.
A touch of gray.
Yes.
Is it really?
It is. It's such a gray. Holy shit. And I was about to say, it's not a color people think is a color.
I
but
was
you
going
got
to
it.
say a touch of brown to be funny.
No, why did you say gray, though?
Because I think there's some sort of graying formula for,
Wow.
for hair.
That is it. A touch of gray.
I did
Wow. Touch of gray. Andrew, good guess.
Yeah.
John, your turn. Grateful Dead, and I will say there's only one more pool question.
I will take a poll question then.
What the fuck?
This is a bonus question.
A boner.
Bonus.
Bonus question. This is about a swimming pool.
Why is it a bonus question?
Because it's about a swimming pool. This one's worth 2 points.
What
Nice.
According to the CDC, what is the percentage of adults that still pee in the pool?
Lots.
you
That's
got it wrong.
I'm kidding. Give me a number, and Andrew, if you get it closer, you'll get it. Not Price is Right's rule, just whoever's closer.
64%.
64%, Andrew?
You said not Price is Right rule?
Not Price is Right rules.
So if I guess and get it wrong, I'm wrong? That's it. Okay. 70%.
Because I know you would say $1 or some shit.
Yeah, you're right. I play to win, baby.
No, 20%.
Only 20? Damn, I would have thought it was higher.
Fuck.
But to be honest, those UTIs will be swimming up there if you pee in there.
John,
So
I'm going to
good.
give you a point because you were
What?
Thank
the closest. But
You just said
weren't.
it wasn't Price is Right.
All right,
rule.
fine. I'll get rid of that point. You guys are tied, so it's
Hey,
the
what the
same as if
fuck? I want
nothing
that
happened.
point.
No, I think you got it wrong.
I think you guys are probably right. That's the real percentage, but I feel like on the survey, people are like,
I don't pee in the pool.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't do
like,
it.
no, you do. I know you do. I shit in the pool.
I don't pee in the pool at all.
Hey, you do.
I don't pee in the pool.
I don't pee in the pool.
I pee in the
Shit.
ocean all the fucking time.
That's scarier.
I don't get in the pool.
The pool has chlorine.
Oh yeah,
The ocean has
whales piss in
dead
the pool.
bodies.
No.
in the pool. Deadpool.
Well, there's only Grateful Dead questions left, so Andrew, here's yours. Lead guitarist Jerry Garcia lost this finger on his right hand when he was young, forming what would later be an iconic logo on many T-shirts. Which finger was it?
The ring finger.
No.
Oh,
John?
The middle finger.
The middle finger,
Is it
baby.
really?
Yeah.
fuck.
It's crazy. He's the lead guitarist, right? Without a middle finger. Crazy.
That's why I thought it was cool. Yeah, I don't know.
Man, this is insane that like we are so bad at. We do not have any Grateful Dead knowledge at all.
We're almost done. Some of the musicians, whose turn is it?
Mine.
Okay, no choice. Grateful Dead. Some of the musicians collaborated to create the music for this Francis Ford Coppola film.
Oh shit. Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Andrew.
What?
Ben and Jerry, the ice cream company, released a flavor based on the band member. It was
Yeah.
called
Is this a fat joke?
Blank Garcia. No, this is the last one.
Why did you make it that easy?
What?
Cherry.
Yep, Cherry Garcia.
Jerry Garcia's from fucking.
Well, guys, that just shows you just how much. 1, 2, 3, 4. You guys got more than half of them right of the Deadpool or the
Grateful
Deadpool game.
Deadpool
Yeah.
games?
Andrew, unfortunately, you lost.
Yeah, no shit.
John got 4, and you got a 3.
John
the
works at a record shop.
The loser has to sing this Grateful Dead song.
Oh shit, that's me, huh?
Oh,
Yep.
you want me to play the song?
It's a song called. I'll play it on here, I guess. It's called.
All right,
here.
well, let's take a pause so I can listen to the song.
Nope. You're gonna go full steam in, baby.
Yeah, you got to go.
Oh, nice,
balls,
okay.
I don't know
balls-
how I'm gonna sync this up later.
balls deep.
Me neither.
I hope this isn't
Trust
one
me,
of-
I'm gonna make it as difficult as possible
What's
for
the
you.
name of this song?
I hope this isn't. Oh shit! An ad's playing. I hope this isn't one of their like 10-hour sets. Because if it is, Andrew, you're gonna have to sing the whole damn thing. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Here are the lyrics. Just jump in whenever you think it happens.
okay.
It's called
Wait.
"Cats Under the Stars." I have it. I'll play it.
Cats Under the Stars.
Here we go. I'm just gonna hold my microphone up.
Did it already start? What
This
lyrics?
isn't. This is the Jerry Garcia band.
You know how many people are gonna get mad at
This
me?
is crazy. Yeah, this is the Jerry Garcia
On the
band.
black top. Oh, it's already gone?
Yeah, it's gone.
Hold on, let me catch up real quick. Is this? Am I supposed to be singing right now?
No.
Oh, okay. I think you started on the wrong part. This is completely different.
Here we go. I think that was just a bridge. Again, they are a jam band, so you may never
This
get
is so
to.
crazy
I know.
that I think you picked Jerry Garcia's solo song.
Some plays guitar that sounds like clarinet. I'm ready to go to bed. I think I'll take a walk downtown instead.
Damn, he's got some like spoken word skills.
Guys, I
Yeah.
feel like John is right. This is not a Grateful Dead song.
Yeah.
This
Oh
is
my God.
This is a solo
This is so
Jerry
awesome.
Garcia
That's so
song.
awesome.
Oh
that you
no!
did. I was looking for a Grateful Dead song. I was like,
That's
this
a
is
no.
not it.
That is a solo Jerry Garcia song.
And
He
so-
was in the Grateful Dead.
Man,
the-
technically, I kind of won.
Yeah.
is the
because that was
best.
fun to see.
Little game here that we've played
This
so
is
far.
the Deadpool game. You can play
This
at home.
is awesome.
Listen to some Grateful Dead, play some pool, and don't pee in it. We'll be right back.
All these bitches are prima donnas. I stuff my face with Jimmy Jongas. Tacos and
Manic,
I know. Welcome back from that break. Ooh, boy. I
from
hope.
that manic
I know.
break.
Just another manic Monday.
Break.
We're talking Deadpool. We're back from the break. Let's talk a little bit more about this really fun movie.
Funny flick.
Let's talk about the story
We
structure.
could try.
In a
Yeah,
weird
but-
interest, it's like such an interesting way. It's one of the retools they did. They originally, the first script was told in a very linear fashion,
fashion,
like most movies are.
And they chop it up into flashbacks.
Yeah. What do you guys think about that?
I liked it. It's very fresh in terms of like the way you would structure a straightforward superhero movie.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that like he kind of jumps back and forth into, what made him this, and in bits and pieces of the human moments too, because there's kind of like a contrast of like his past where it's like super kind of serious at times, and then the present where he is, he has a mask on and his eyes are animating.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, you start off with
go
him in
up.
his prime. Like
Yeah.
he's whipping like 10 guys' asses, like in
Yeah.
the opening
Yeah.
credits
He's
in this
talking,
badass
yeah.
montage
Like-
scene, breaking the fourth wall, doing it all.
Do you see the test footage? Do you think that's partially one of the reasonings is to, of course, not have like a regular origin story, but also starting it off in a really frenetic, manic, like fun, energetic way, because of how serious I guess the turn is for him at some point. That's like a really bummer first act if that's what it is, and some people
Yeah.
may be like, man. Like, not that they would like leave the theater or anything, but just in terms of like the energy of a movie, that's a pretty big stop of energy.
Well, and also, if you didn't like Wolverine Origins and you watch this movie, you're like, oh, this is good.
That's
Yeah.
that's really interesting.
You have to you have
Yeah.
to wipe that taste out of their mouth. Basically, the first thing you're showing with this movie, and that's what this opening credit scene does.
So many of these movies that are quote unquote darker are incredibly moody in the beginning.
Yeah.
Very like hyper dramatized. It's crazy, and I feel like, and not in a bad way. Like X-Men does it well a lot. Like
Right.
the first X-Men movie did it really well too. But I don't know. Yeah, it definitely just also like sets the tone and lets you kind of relax in a weird way to know that it's not necessarily a movie where you have to keep track of a million different things, like right off the bat. It's really nice. It's very refreshing. You're right.
Yeah, it's
Fresh.
pretty awesome. You also get like a very cool like Stan Lee cameo, which was something that we haven't talked about in a while.
I
Actually,
like
no,
it.
we talked about it in our Venom episode.
I remember. I mean, I forgot about it until I watched it just like an hour ago. But
kept
I remember
rewinding.
telling Sophia like, "This is
Right up his alley.
right." Yeah, and I was like, "I don't know
Damn.
if there's anything like this for Stan Lee to be in." Does that make sense? Like, I don't know what other character he would be
He
in
could
a
have
strip
done-
club.
yeah, like that,
basically,
yeah.
talking about chastity coming up on stage.
I've met Stanley, and he loved the ladies.
Oh yes, do you remember we did that thing and there was a Q&A? Oh, should I not? Never mind.
Yes.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Let's talk about something else. Great segue.
So the actual look of Deadpool. What did you guys think of the actual having him actually animate his his eyes and stuff. Like,
He-
kind of like in Spider-Man fashion.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Deadpool walked so that Spider-Man could run.
Yeah,
guess that's true.
It's
Yeah.
good. I mean, it's
Wait. This is the same year as Civil War.
Wow. Well, it's a good meld because I feel like the rest of it's practical, right? Like it's
Yeah, like the majority of the suits on him. I
Yeah.
think like the only thing that are like kind of like in
yeah.
faraway shots, I think he just has the mask on. But other than that, like maybe little motion
It's
capture things
good.
around his eyes.
It's a little cartoony, but in a good way because I feel like in the comic books, it
fits,
probably
yeah.
looks like that too. Like it goes wide, goes small, and in kind of like in an anime fashion, which is interesting because a lot of anime and manga have such like whenever it's super dramatized, like the eyes will be super tiny, or they'll be like sweating, or then
Wide,
it's super
yeah.
wide, or like it's
You love anime.
It's very like comic booky. Yeah, it is very comic booky. So like, yeah, you're right on that front. It also is really cool, like when he actually has the costume on. He's not the same person. Like he's like a really different. Like he's turned up to 11 per se. Like Wade Wilson's energy.
Ooh, Spinal Tap.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's I think there is kind of a borderline where you guys are talking about how it could become something that's draining, or I mean when something is too meta, you can also just be like, who cares? Like you can be so meta, it's parody. Does that make sense? Like,
Right. Yeah.
And I feel
kinda
like this
a
movie
little bit like the second one. The second one's kind of a little too meta.
Yeah, and it feels like it treads that line, and the first one in a good way, to where it's there for comedy, but it's also there because of who the character is.
Yeah.
Even before he becomes Deadpool, it's what he is about.
Right,
And kind
yeah.
of becomes more that way. You're right. Hyped up to 11. There's even moments where he gets stabbed in the brain, and we see like animated cartoons.
He gets
you
shot
know,
up
Of
the
the
ass.
unicorn.
At one
of
point.
unicorns.
He jacked off with.
Gets shot at the butt.
Yeah, he gets shot up the butt and stuff. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yes, it's really it's a cool flick.
Yeah.
It's a good
Yeah,
show.
and the fact that it's kind of semi-connected to the X-Men universe in a way, because you have like new interpretations of Colossus and shit.
Do you feel like that was a studio decision? Does that make sense?
Probably.
Because it's cool to have the basic heroes, because to show that he is an anti-hero, or he's a guy who's still kind of in the middle, to show like Colossus is good.
These
Inherently,
the other guys are bad.
He's ethical.
and then
The other
this
guys are bad.
guy
And yeah,
kind of
Deadpool's in the
does both.
middle. So I understand the story structure of that, but then also like the part of you that's just like, oh, they probably were like, maybe Deadpool can't carry a movie. Let's throw some X-Men in there.
I
in a
like that
weird
though.
way.
It's kind of an homage to where the roots of the actual Deadpool character comes from, which is like the X-Men universe and X-Force and stuff. So
I think it's crazy because it would like if he jumps over to like Disney, or I mean, obviously he is making the jump to Disney. And
Yeah.
all that. I think it's like if he has his own rated R movie and you see Iron Man in there, you're like, whoa, this is weird. Or
And it-
like not Iron Man, but like
Yeah.
Cap or
No, I
I mean,
think-
whichever.
I
MCU
think
character.
Robert Downey Jr. would love to do an R-rated movie.
Like,
I
could you
feel
imagine,
like
like,
Chris
Chris
Evans
Evans
would
would
want to
probably
do
like to.
that?
But
Yeah.
I just think it's crazy that like the X-Men were allowed in when there were nothing past PG-13, obviously, and so it's like, whoa, like the fact that you're able to put
Yeah.
in some of these more mainstream characters is pretty awesome.
I mean, we can talk about it a little bit, and we can jump back here. But what do you guys think about the future of Deadpool? Because obviously the MCU is already big. It's already established. It already has like themes and tones that they've set. There's also like a visual guide now to kind of the MCU movies. How do you think it works? I mean, he's perfect because he's super meta anyways, and he jumps back and forth. And
I don't know if it would
time
work,
travel,
though.
but
like they're really gonna have to modify the shit out of
To
him.
be honest, I said I thought it would be a good idea because and then he can point out the fact that everyone else looks different, and so when they cast another Wolverine, he's gonna be like, "What the fuck? Like you're not
Yeah.
Wolverine."
the second one, does it establish time travel? What happens in that one?
Second
Like-
one does have time travel.
travel.
Time travel, right?
Cable,
And,
like-
introduces Cable
and
which
different
is the, X-Men
universes
character.
or futures and stuff?
different timelines,
Okay.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah, which I mean, as soon as you establish different timelines, they're different
He
universes.
calls him Thanos. At one point.
Whenever he does make fun of the MCU, I think that's going to be really funny.
Yeah.
I just said fun and funny together, but
Yeah.
like there are certain things that
Fun
we've
times two.
we're doing an MCU podcast, so we're starting. Sometimes we see threads that are the same or
Right.
tropes. Sometimes not bad, but we start to see.
Yeah, like if he sees Marshall Ali's blade, he's gonna be
Yeah.
like, "You're not Wesley Snipes."
Like I think that's fun, like to deconstruct some of the things that happen in these MCU movies, even if it's just a commentary on Disney.
I don't know how that
like
would
The
work,
Simpsons
though.
do.
Like,
that's
unless
the
you
most
have, like-
appropriate with Deadpool.
Yeah.
Unless you're having like a Taika Waititi-esque like personality directing or something. Like I don't know how that would work in an MCU.
I don't know why you just
forefront.
wouldn't bring Tim Miller back.
That would be
Yeah.
that-
Well, he
I
already-
don't know.
honestly,
Oh
he-
yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
My
But
bad.
what do you think a Deadpool movie would work? I guess when it boils down to it, would it work as a rated R movie or a rated PG-13 movie?
I think it actually can. I mean, this is going to be controversial. I know Deadpool is, known for
the hard R.
the hard R, or at least in the comics, very grotesque or something like cutting heads off and shooting
Irreverent.
stuff. Yeah, and so I think he could actually do well with a PG-13 if they needed to, like if they needed to integrate him. I don't necessarily think the F word, the fuck bomb, is necessary to be funny. Like Ryan Reynolds is like we've seen Just Friends.
Yeah, we've seen him on PG-13
And
stuff.
I think it would be
It's funny
funny,
as hell.
like very Scott Pilgrim-esque, when he says "fuck" and they bleeps him out, and he's
Yeah.
like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
Or like, "What
Yeah,
the
that would
hell?"
be really
He
cool.
gets
Yeah,
one
see.
fuck, per PG-13.
You can be creative with
He
it.
can
like
make
that,
comment.
like
I
the way-
can't say that anymore because
Yeah.
of Disney.
Yeah.
Because isn't this the same conversation that they're having with Blade? Like Blade, people are like it's got to be
Yeah,
hard
but
R.
to be honest, Darth Vader's scene at the end of Rogue One, it's violent as fuck.
It's pretty fucked up.
But again, like
No blood.
Yeah. And so, but even then, you're
Yeah.
like, holy fuck! Like,
And they did. We just when we talk about World's End, they made it blue, and suddenly, it's fine. Like it's and they're not. It's not blood. It's something else.
Yep. And so,
ink.
but yeah, if it was red, they would have been like X.
Nope.
Rated
Yeah.
X. Like it's too much blood.
Yeah, I feel like there's just this also association with Marvel where you can bring, and I think to your point, Andrew, families did bring their family like kids
Most
to
definitely.
Deadpool.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't think after they took prayer out of public schools, I don't think people really care about these values like I do. But I feel like that R isn't such a bad thing anymore.
Yeah.
Nobody's checking IDs anymore. This isn't a Hollywood video. But I do feel like there is still this idea that the Marvel movies are family friendly. That's like the Disney thing, right? Like you don't have to do that
And
to
maybe
be
they
successful.
keep it under Fox.
Fox Searchlight? No,
yeah, whatever they call it.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
brand.
But I think he'd work
It's
well in
something
the
that
MCU.
won't be on Disney Plus, but it
Yeah.
will be on Hulu.
So partially too. There's
owned by Disney.
There's a second movie that we might talk about.
Maybe.
But I feel like a third movie, if he's able to kind of riff on the MCU stuff, that's like, here's another. It feels a little fresher and newer instead of.
And
him.
also, you want to see him riff on it because,
Yeah.
like, he's like,
So
"Man,
take
I
him
loved
down."
you guys in Civil War," and they're like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck is that?"
I mean, can you imagine if he talks about like the Edgar Wright Ant-Man or something, or like soup? Because the thing I learned from Ryan Reynolds, he like finds the
Oh, yeah,
thing,
the
like,
deep cuts.
the deep cuts.
Yeah.
And he's not scared to like
They straight
throw
up
it in
show the
there.
old Deadpool in this
Yeah,
movie, in
so-
the action
Yeah,
figure.
he's a toy. Yeah.
Right, and like there's all those people that worked on it who probably were like, "This is amazing," and then he was like, "Let's fucking go back there." So I could see him really diving deep into the closet with the MCU and like pulling some stuff
Yeah,
out.
Pulling some
because like, what
skeletons.
Yeah.
if he looked at like Rhodey, War Machine? He's like, "Where's Terrence Howard?"
Yeah.
That's a little bit more of a.
And you're like, "Where the
low
fuck
blow.
is Ed Norton?
Nah,
Like,
he'd
what
do
the hell
that.
is going on?"
I think what's really refreshing about this meta thing is
He would
because
just- yeah.
like not that Deadpool understands, because I know he's not real. I know he's not real like the Slender Man. But there is something really silly about all of it that is fun to talk about.
Well, I'm sure
Yeah,
if like.
not in like a bad way,
Well,
like
'cause
not
if,
to say
if
silly.
he made
but-
that joke like about Ed Norton
Yeah.
or Terrence Howard, I'm pretty sure they would get sued by
You
that
think
said
so?
person.
Maybe, yeah.
Or whatever.
They all have
You're
NDA,
probably
like
right,
it's a
yeah.
touchy
It
subject.
would be something that they own or something. So it'd be like, "Oh, you're not the dude from like Fight Club."
Yeah.
And so they wouldn't say Ed Norton, but they would be like, "Hey, we'll find an Ed Norton movie that we can
I
use."
kind of feel like
Zip it,
we're
Tyler
due for.
Durden.
I think we're
Yeah.
due for some good parody movies too. Like I know that there were so many Mel Brooks like with Spaceballs or like all of like I feel like we're due Naked Gun.
To
Like,
be
I think
honest,
we're due for a good parody.
If you're gonna do PG-13 or rated R, I want to see the Marvel Zombies, but with Deadpool, and he uses Cable's like time travel thing that goes to some weird
like, take him out.
post-apocalyptic
he
future.
would be the guy, right?
Yeah, because and then like he's
Yeah.
indestructible or whatever,
Or
and,
have like a riff off with Star Lord and Thor.
well, and then like the way you can end the movie, like say the zombie apocalypse started with something dumb like a burrito or something,
Yeah.
and you can end the movie with him going back in time, looking at the burrito, and then hitting it out of the guy's hand and going,
Yeah.
"You're welcome,"
Oh
and then
my
that's the way the
God.
movie ends, or something
it's-
dumb, something real stupid, or you know.
yeah, and that's what's exciting with Deadpool. It all works together. Like
It's
we
all-
talked about the story structure not being the same. Well, it works in a Deadpool movie. You
Yeah.
can make these meta things because it works in a Deadpool
Well,
movie.
and I think like with him, like he's your best chance at like
Yeah.
retconning some stuff, or like even like
Have him bring the X-Men and Fantastic Four.
well, yeah, or being like the most Deadpool that I mean, like not Deadpool, but being the most like different that you can be. And so like Marvel Zombies doesn't make sense in any of the MCU movies but Deadpool. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And so all your absurd, basically comic book ideas that can't go into a movie can be a Deadpool movie for
And
sure.
these and I mean, there's even a line in it where he says, "This sounds like a franchise" when they make the name Deadpool up, but
Yeah,
it really
Captain
is a
Deadpool.
good. It is a franchise. Like this is unique enough to carry its own weight. Does that make sense?
Right,
Like
yeah.
Deadpool 3, 4,
Bro,
Shrek 5,
bro, they could,
Deadpool
like,
Forever After.
If they wanted, they could like start the movie live action, accidentally go into a Spider-Verse esque type of like animated thing, and then he jumps out and he comes back in and it's the MCU, and he's like, "What the fuck?"
That is totally possible.
Yeah, and it could be your
would
first animated or whatever
crossover thing. Yeah,
exactly. And
Or, Who Framed Roger Rabbit
yeah,
type
oh yeah,
thing.
for sure.
I don't know. Yeah, and I think
there's
that's
so many again ideas that you could do with him.
And I like that now it's a proven entity. Like it's not a risk because I mean
He doesn't
this
just
movie-
work on paper.
Yeah.
It works like in
This movie is so fucking hard to get made because everyone didn't believe in it, and
Right, yeah.
the idea that now because it's been successful, the second one's successful too. Both of these movies made like $1.5 billion combined. Like they could do whatever because they have that clout now.
It's
Yeah.
exciting just to see the potential of the character, and I mean, hopefully Ryan Reynolds isn't done with it. I mean, he's pretty good at it. So
Yeah, because like I hear there's a kind of a pushback of they don't really know what to do with him yet. Like I think they were excited to get his character
if
in,
not,
but they
give,
don't know
give
what
me a
the,
Disney Plus show or something.
Yeah,
with
see,
him,
I don't
or
mind that, or like even some Deadpool cameos. Like just throw
if
him
you
in
want to
there.
put him on FX or something, or like where you could be a little bit more adult, or
Or
give
like
me
an after credit scene.
And it's
Like, he
always
could
sunny
be-
in Philadelphia. Yeah, he could be the cameo, the Stan Lee cameo.
Yeah.
he could fill in that role where it's just that
Deadpool.
Yeah, and so you're like, it makes sense for Deadpool to go throughout all of them and to
I think to your point, I just pulled this up. This was updated yesterday, but the people who worked and the creator Rob Liefeld, because he also is in the know for a lot of this stuff.
yeah.
He says that it is not on Marvel's schedule at least
Right.
for the next 5 years, and they haven't even started working on anything Deadpool related. So
That makes sense.
Yeah.
They have a lot of stuff on their plate, and or no stuff on their plate
Yeah.
because
you know
no one
what's going to
has
be
any stuff.
important? Probably Blade, like because whatever decision they make. Not just with the rating thing, but whatever tone decision they make, because
probably gonna start with Blade.
Blade is the arrival of the Marvel Knights.
yeah, Blade
which
is
is the hard R shit.
that we'll have to see how
Potential
that
for their hard out.
Yeah.
fits into the universe. Because even when we're talking about like Wesley Snipes, it has such a style already in place that people are like, oh, that's a Blade movie. We don't like pools of blood, like whatever.
Vampires.
And it'll see if it changes or if
It's just gonna be like what we do in the shadows.
Oh, I just started watching season 2 of that. I'm 4 episodes.
Oh man,
in.
that's a great.
We're all caught up.
yeah,
It's the
an
best.
awesome. Show.
I love that.
Wait
show.
until you get to the Jackie Daytona.
Yeah, my name is Johnny Daytona.
I whatever. I love what we do in the shadows.
But yeah, Deadpool, great flick. You guys have any
Plugs? What?
final thoughts?
Oh, I was like, oh,
Deadpool?
fuck, we're going. Yeah, I mean, I think we basically covered all of the things that I wanted to say. So no, I'm just kidding. It's incredible action. It's incredibly funny. They do something with just the story structure, with the way they disperse information in this movie that keeps you entertained. It has a constant energy, manic. No, but in like a really positive way.
It's kind of like a feel good like movie, as even as gory and as twisted as it is.
truly,
There's
yeah.
that scene where like he's going after that stalker pizza kid.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, he's terrifying. But and then you see him why he's doing it.
Yeah.
Like,
Everything
it's
is
so
breaking-
like heartfelt, and like
Yeah.
he was doing it for like because this girl was scared that this dude was stalking her, and he did it for free for no money. And
Yeah.
It's just also like,
Good-hearted.
yeah, and then like a scene like that where he's talking to the agent guy when he has cancer. Like he's
Yeah.
saying about how, because the guy's praising him for his, special forces background. And Wade seems to be ashamed of it. Like he's like, well, he's like, do you mind if I have this drink? He was like, it's to, basically like, hold back all the things that you think is impressive about
Yeah.
me or something like that. And I'm
Yeah.
like, whoa, that's like
Well,
a really,
But
like,
that's also
it's
like
a
in
crazy-
between 4 one-liners where he
Well, that's the
makes
thing,
fun
it's
of the
like-
dude. And
Well,
yeah, and see, that's
even-
a cool thing too. It's like everything is kind of smiled. I mean, it's very, even if it's serious, it is the tension is broken with the joke, but it's done so in a very genuine way where it's not over the top. Kind of like the way, I mean, like not over the top to where it's like super annoying, I guess, in the sense. And
it's very
not,
heartfelt.
not so much like because the second one kind of pushes the boundary a little bit more. Like where it's like, okay, maybe that's a little too much.
And
But
I'm
this first
interested.
one,
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens next because that template is no joke. Now something that a lot of movies do.
Yeah,
like they
yeah, definitely.
want that Deadpool.
something Deadpool-esque.
Yeah,
thing,
and it's
yeah.
oh god, you see it in emails. Something like Deadpool. Oh, can you be like Deadpool?
Yeah.
And you're like, no.
It's the bar for
Yeah, it's
some
the
of these
bar.
movies, yeah.
For rated R superhero.
Is it the
flicks
highest
nowadays.
grossing rated R movie?
No, I think it's Joker now. Society.
Which is also a comedy in a different way.
Yeah. Gonna laugh your ass
That's
off.
what that's what Joker says in the movie. His life isn't a tragedy.
Yeah. That's what
It's a comedy.
Deadpool has to make fun of. Like that would be interesting.
That would be the best thing for Deadpool
if he killed somebody and then he went into the bathroom and started dancing.
because Harley Quinn won't do it. So like Deadpool,
Everyone's
where you
too
at?
scared to talk about it.
Yeah, exactly, because it won him all the Oscars.
It is still the highest grossing debut for a rated R movie. It made $132 million in the first 3 days.
I'm sure I would.
Damn,
I
damn,
contributed
damn.
to that.
Yeah. Also,
amount.
how weird is it like that we're talking about this during COVID where that just seems like impossible now? Like the highest grossing movie this week made 92,000. It's kind of wild.
Damn.
Movie theaters are closed. And the other thing too, I don't even know if you remember this, but the marketing for this movie was insane.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look up, but it was weird. Like there was all kinds of weird stuff. They had like fake commercials where Deadpool would come out.
Yeah, you had fake box art too. Like they put Deadpool on a bunch of like Fox re-releases.
Yeah,
Like on a bunch of like
Oh, yeah, I
jackets on
remember.
Blu-rays. Yeah, like
Yeah.
so Deadpool would be in Predator
in Die Hard.
or in Die Hard.
they would have bad reviews. It looks like posted up a lot of fake. Oh, there's a fight between Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. A fake fight.
So like
He showed up on Extra with Mario Lopez.
one
As
would say
Deadpool.
fake news.
Yeah, as Deadpool.
Yeah.
They put him. Yeah, they
he started beating up Mario Lopez,
They
didn't he?
deep faked him into Teen Mom, Ridiculousness, Tosh.0, Workaholics at Midnight, The Golden Girls, Cops. Isn't that crazy? Like it was
is
so
pretty
different
crazy.
than
That's
everything
insane,
else.
yeah.
But hey, it
again,
worked.
No, but that's Deadpool though.
Yeah.
That's the budget.
He's
Yeah.
meta. He's in these other
Oh,
things.
yeah, for
Oh
sure.
man, that's so exciting. Get him in there. He's gonna be on this pod. No, we're
Yeah,
too.
he's going to
We're
be-
too mainstream.
That's true. Yeah.
It's not bad to be mainstream. It just means we're popular. Right? Right, guys?
Nope.
Right.
Right? All of you listeners?
I thought Deadpool was cool. John?
Actually, I said my piece before you.
Oh shit! I guess
Then
we're
all
done.
our pieces are done.
Yeah, our
our pieces
pieces
are
are set.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Pick your
Pretty
butt.
good app.
Yeah, pretty good app.
That's pretty meta,
That was
right?
that was the plug.
That was the plug. That's the plug. But here's the plug.
We should have no plug.
Yeah.
So that way, breaking the fourth wall.
Huh?
We should defy to plug.
Okay. I'm going to do plugs later. I'm going to record them later and put them in.
I like listen to all your Dopapod stuff. Stay clean.
Stay clean, baby.
Stay safe.
That
Wash
means
your-
you, Lance Armstrong, wash
Wash
that
your hands. Wash your ball.
Wash your ball. should take half the soap needed.
Yeah, it should take half the time of washing both balls. God damn it.
This
Poor
is
Lance-
mean.
Yeah,
Is this
this is
mean?
really mean. Really,
I
really
censored
fucking
myself
mean.
like 4 times during the thing, but
This is
we're
terrible.
still
I can't
talking
believe-
about a ball.
The thing is, like, I wasn't saying anything earlier.
With only one ball. He's
This is
probably not the
terrible.
only one.
This is fucking terrible.
I do have a. This is so funny.
This is fucked up.
I have a cousin with one ball.
Hey, this is.
That is fucked up too.
I-
To say it out loud.
Hey, this
Sorry.
is it's meta.
I just outed him.
Oh God.
I just outed him as a one baller, a 1B. You can do plugs. What do you have to
Oh,
plug?
me?
Yeah, do
Okay.
it.
Yeah. I work at a comic book store, and Deadpool is a comic book character.
You know what to do.
You know what? And I assume you have a lot of Deadpool merch as well.
For
It's
sure.
everywhere.
I actually have this like $60 Nerf gun set that's made after Deadpool, and it's
Pretty cool.
premium shit.
No.
Yeah, I was like, oh fuck, this is like one of the best Nerf guns. Like, I kind of want it.
You know, Leigh, I listened to all your the shows on here. They're all pretty mainstream. You'll like it.
Manic too.
Very manic. All right. Bye.
Later, guys.
Deadpool.